Welcome back to this program of In the Know. Our guest is Dorcas Mwangi, a young lady who is so proud of her country and her continent of Africa. She is a true Pan Africanist. This is what she's telling us. She thinks that her future is in Africa, even though she has been exposed to the British way of life. Even though so many young people would love to go to the Western world, Dorcas has this message. There is no place better than home. She wants to develop Africa. She's pursuing international affairs, politics, law, and all that to prepare her to be a true Pan-African. Towards the end of our last segment, she said that what has kept her going is her trust in God. Dorcas,
Yes.
what is what does trusting in God mean to you, and how much has your life been a prayer life, and where have you learned it from?
There are many, there are many answers to that. My prayer life started at home.
Yes.
My family is Christian, we're
Yes.
strong Christians, and prayer has been something that we always do. We pray in the morning as a family, we pray in the evening before we go to
Together?
bed. Yes, together.
Even at your age, at 18, because I
Oh.
know many young people being called to pray and they are busy with their life. For real, have you prayed together with your parents
Oh, yes, all the time, all the time.
before meals?
Before meals, morning prayers, just, yeah, prayer is something we.
Have
we
you
do
ever
a lot.
led prayers, or you just listen and felt like this is their thing?
No, I definitely lead prayers as well.
You do?
Yes.
Wow. How often have you prayed when you've been with the family, and even not even prayers? Have you had church life? Like, have you gone to church?
Yeah, I've gone to church my whole life, and
Wow. What about in UK?
in UK I do go to church.
What
my
is
whole
the
life.
name of the church where you go to?
The one I go to in Birmingham is called Birmingham City Centre. Birmingham
Is it
City
full
Church.
of young people, or it's
It
mixture?
is. It's. I love it for the fact that it's very mixed.
It is mixed.
Yeah.
How do you compare worship between UK and Nairobi?
I mean, I think it depends on the church you go to. I've been to
Okay.
some churches in the UK where worship is the same as worship here.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
in some churches here. For the church I particularly go to, it's very lively.
Very
and
lively.
Yes, it's almost like a concert. So I love
No,
that and
Dorcas,
appreciate
you know,
that.
besides being a professor, you know, I am a pastor.
Yes.
What is this one thing that you, millennial, detest? That if you're the bishop, if you're the big person there, what is this thing you would change in the worship service? Something that keeps young people out. I've heard about time, the context. What is it? What is this thing that you wish we'd change, we as pastors and church leaders?
I feel like, well, at my church, I'm
Yes.
quite comfortable there.
Okay,
I
good, good.
actually,
Yeah, yes.
I wouldn't change anything really
Right.
at my church. But before, I guess I found my church and the church that I feel I'm able to grow in the most.
Yes.
I found that in Kenya it was quite a struggle for me to find a church where I felt quite comfortable.
Okay. And what
You
makes you
know?
comfortable? Is it the other people who attend service, or the content of the sermon?
Just
is it the music? What is it?
Everything, just
Everything.
finding common ground with your church.
Yes.
Making God more realistic in a way, and I feel that's something that being away from home has actually helped me with. It's actually made my spiritual life much stronger
Okay.
and more real, because it's made God more real to me. I mean,
Wow.
I feel like you need to present God to people at all their levels,
Yes.
and often at times in churches here,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel a lot of them are changing,
Right.
but I felt like most of the time praise and worship would only cater to a certain crowd, and
Okay.
younger people didn't really have a praise and worship that they identified to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Involvement of
Involvement
young people,
and,
to
yeah.
feel that whatever is done resonates
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're there and you think that there are no beautiful girls who trust in God, we have one. And her name is Dorcas Mwangi. She goes to church. She prays with the family. She leads prayers at her home. Dorcas, is there any moment in your life that prayer, more than before, has been so profound? Are there situations where you've really asked God to really come in a special way?
Definitely, more than one situation. I feel, especially for people in the early 20s,
Yes.
you go through a lot. So there's going to be more than one occasion where
Yes.
you call upon God. And
Mm-hmm.
but I can tell you the first time for me where I came to realize the importance of prayer for myself
Right.
was during Westgate.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, sad. I remember that sad story.
Yes.
Would you tell the viewer briefly what it was all about? It was about the terrorist attack.
Yes. So there was a terrorist attack on the Westgate
Right?
Mall
In the city of Nairobi.
in the city of
Which year was
Nairobi.
this?
Oh gosh,
Two, 3 years
2013.
ago? Yeah, about a few years ago. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the experience like?
So for me, at that time, I had gone to Westgate. It's a place that I'd go regularly with my
Right.
friends. So I just went to buy some medicine that day. I parked at the top parking lot and
Right.
I went down to the pharmacy. I got my medicine. I went back to the top and then I realized I still wanted to buy a few things at Nakumat. So I went down into Nakumat and
Right.
as I was done with my shopping and I was leaving is when I just heard like a loud noise.
Wow.
And initially I thought it was an earthquake because the last thing you'll think about is a terrorist attack in
Yes.
Kenya, especially
Right.
in Westgate. So I thought it was an earthquake and I saw everyone running in and I wondered, why would you be running in if it's
Wow.
an earthquake?
Yes.
But then I looked at the building and I'm like, okay, it's still, I don't feel like anything is moving.
Right.
So as everyone is running back in, I started running out to
Uh-oh.
see what it was because
Yeah.
I was quite convinced it was an earthquake.
Right.
So once I reached the entrance of Nakumat, which goes into the wider mall,
Yes. Yes.
is when I saw just people basically running and screaming for their lives, and that's
no.
when I ran back into Nakumat.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was scaring. And how long did it take before you were out of the building?
I was there for 4 hours.
4 hours. You hid yourself?
Yes, I hid myself under some suitcases with a woman who was next to me. And I started texting my dad and my mom, letting them know where
Right,
I was and
right.
what was going on. And
It must
Yeah.
have scared them to death.
yeah, it was. It was quite a scary situation, especially I know for them.
Yes.
They were outside watching everything, and
Because it was all over the world. It's CNN,
Yeah.
everybody. I remember in the US, we were covering that and we realized that Westgate had been attacked. It broke my heart when I heard that you were there.
yeah,
And all your friends all over were scared until we heard that you are safely home. And many people died.
yes,
Many people died. So at that moment, you called God, God answered, and I'm sure you're so grateful to God that you're alive today.
definitely. I mean, at that moment, I remember when I prayed, I definitely felt a reassurance
Yes,
and a peace from
Right.
God,
yes.
you know, and it was almost like me and God had an agreement that I'm not dying today.
Yeah, man.
And that gave me calmness and I was able to just relax in such a
Yes.
crazy situation.
How do you relax? Did you have some calmness of some kind? Were you like, were you calm?
I
You
was.
know, when you had the gunshots and all those things going on?
I mean, initially I was scared, but that's what I'm saying. I think it's definitely the power of prayer because
Man.
after I prayed, I was calm and I remember I almost started sleeping.
Wow.
And I'm just hearing gunshots
4 hours
throughout.
is a long time.
Yeah, and I was quite calm and just texting my family, letting them know that I'm still alive.
I know they came to the U.S. where we had a church, and they were asking whether we knew anybody in the attack, and the news people came asking whether we knew anybody, and we talked about Dorcas. And when all this happened, how do you remember that? Did you have a tribute? talk to Kenyans? Did you talk to the world? And if you did, how did you do that?
Well, after Westgate, about like two days after it, I definitely spoke on quite a lot of media outlets,
Right.
like CNN, BBC.
Right.
I did a podcast with BBC World Have Your Say,
Okay.
just talking about Kenya's security and, you know, what Westgate basically did for Kenyans in terms of
Right.
their trust for our country's security. And that was with lots of political analysts, journalists,
Yes.
and people who have influence in that sort of area.
Right.
So I did quite a lot of talks like that, as well as for the first year anniversary of Westgate, I wrote a song.
You did?
Yes, and
Oh.
I was able to perform it live during the 1-year anniversary
You
ceremony.
did? Where? Who invited you? I know. Oh my goodness. And what's the name of the song?
The song is called Kenya Simama.
Kenya Simama, which means
Kenya stands.
stand,
Yes.
rise up.
Rise up.
So that what the message was what? Kenya Simama, like even though we've been beaten, you can still stand up and
Yes, because you know, if you know about Kenya's history and its politics, tribalism has been something that has,
yes.
I guess, weakened us as a nation.
Yes.
And during a time like Westgate is when I saw truly great unity.
Yes.
You know, when people were giving blood, people were so generous and coming out from left, right, and center to give blood. And this unfortunate situation brought great unity and
Yes.
love between Kenyans.
Yes.
And in that moment, it didn't matter your tribe, what you do,
Exactly.
your
We're all
class.
human beings.
Exactly. So that song basically honors that.
Yes.
Honors the solidarity and the unity
Right.
that Kenyans have, especially during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as it talks about my experience personally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope many people got your message, and with your permission, we'd like to play that music and hope that the viewers can not only see, because I understand that video clip has some images of the terrorist attack
Yes.
with people running out.
Yeah. You also see at the beginning of the video CCTV footage of me
Yes.
when I was running into getting out of Nakumat into the
Wow.
entrance to see what was going on.
Wow.
Then me running back.
You're running.
Yeah.
As you listen to this song, hear the words of this great lady, Kenya Simama. Stand up. Yes, because we might be ashes, but you can come back to life and live again. And especially for her message about unity. Unity at the times of devastation. Let's get to listen and watch that clips even as we come back in this program of In the Know.
Gunshots is what I heard. No one knew it was a terrorist attack. My beloved Kenya, caught up in Westgate, the story had begun. There alone in my darkest hour, hiding under suitcases, praying to the one above. And suddenly I was calm, reassured that my time hasn't come. Slid out, came out alive. Now I'm in the camera lights, telling my story, my testimony. Oh, Kenya. Country's greatest fear, losing the ones we love. But with justice as our shield and defender, above. In the midst of our despair, Kenya, will we stand up strong and fight the ones that try to break us? Unified, we have the power. It's not about where you're from, it's not about what you do, it's all about who you are, it's all about who we are, my Kenya.